Everyone. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer. Good to see you, Dr. Mama Baird, coming to you live from Central Florida, from rainy Central Florida. Oh my goodness. It was raining. There was lightning. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hi, Robin. I see you. You guys have power over there in Winter Park. Hi, Emily. Those of you on Facebook and other channels, let me know if you can hear me. Looks like my camera could be frozen. So hopefully that's coming on. So those of you on Facebook and Mama Bear Live on Telegram, let me know if you can see me and hear me, because it looks like my camera might be having issues. You know, that's how it goes. Hi Gogo. Hi Dr. Chriso. Hi Robin, the oily whiz. Hi Emily. Hi Michelle. Michelle, let me know if the camera's working, if the sound is good. But tonight's title is Rona Reality with myself, Dr. Lisa Palmer. Okay, thanks, Gogo. Thanks for letting me know that you could hear me and see me. That's good news. I was drenched earlier. Hi, Natalie. We got caught, so I left the office today. Hi, Jonathan. Jonathan, I just have to do a shout out for Jonathan. So Robin, his mom, is very cool. And Jonathan is the best ever at writing down his food. So he is just so good at that. And probably out of all the people I've ever helped in almost 20 years of practice, Jonathan is like epic at tracking his food. So very, very well done, Jonathan. Hi, McCool. Hi, Lizzie. No more storm in another part of Orlando. Sounds like the storm for us is going away, but it was crazy. So you guys can let me know if you're in Florida. I'm glad, Jonathan, that you're happy. If you're in Florida, Central Florida, oh my goodness, I left the office, and as we're driving to the house, I see the black storm clouds. And as, of course, I get out of the car, it's monsooning rain. And then we get home, and our dog hangs out outside and comes in during the day. But when we're at the office, he's outside. And so we went to go find him, and he wasn't in the yard. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, my dog's not in the yard. He ran away, kind of like Jessica. Hi, Talia. Kind of like a Jessica and Talia story with you guys as cats. So we're in the yard looking for my dog in the pouring rain, and we can't find him in the yard. I'm like, oh my gosh, he ran away, and it's pouring rain, and it's lightning, and it's thundering. It's all crazy out. And my shirt was soaked. My pants were soaked. My boots were soaked. My hair, I would look like a drowned rat. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm running around the backyard looking for my dog. Can't find him, like mortified that this week's already kind of run rough, mortified that he ran away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how are we going to find, you go through all that stuff as a dog owner, a dog mommy, an animal mommy, and as a parent, like, oh my gosh, like if Rio ran away, we have to find him, but it's pouring down rain. So I'm looking in the yard. We have a decent sized yard, around almost an acre, and we can't find him. And so Jason actually found him. Jason saw me and Leah running around outside in the rain, and found him under the bushes. I guess he was afraid of the lightning, which I don't blame him. So we're like soaked. My hair's like crazy. So I threw this sweatshirt on, which is very comfy, by the way. And now I've got like crazy rain hair. So rain, I know some of my friends in the Midwest, they haven't gotten rain. And some of my farming friends are concerned that the crops are going to be compromised. They have to irrigate the fields. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. You turn the sprinklers on, but it's like miles of sprinklers. Like you have to monitor the sprinklers and make sure there's no problems with the sprinklers. It's not just like flip a switch and water your field. Like there's a lot of effort and time and worry that goes into farming. And I totally understand. Some of you guys know I have a little garden, and I grew these amazing looking Crenshaw melons, which look like cantaloupe. I don't know if it's the same thing. And I was so proud and so happy. I had this one melon. I was just like waiting for it to get a little bit more ripe, and a squirrel bit a big hole in it. I'm like, well, so much for that one. And then I had another one that was growing nicely, and like two, like we're kind of growing at the same time. And I'm like, perfect. We got two more to eat. And then caterpillars got in that whole area of the garden and destroyed everything. Oh my goodness. So Carol says no rain in Iowa. So wouldn't it be nice if we could just like share rain with you guys? Because we just got like monsooned. We just got drenched, which is great for my garden. But I'm not growing acres and acres and acres of food. So rain. So your viewpoint on rain. Some people like the rain. Some people get depressed with the rain. Some people like, farmers, of course, are like extremely dependent on the rain. Um, Alice Arsenic says we're told not to water all the time because of lack of water. So Florida, at one point, we had like even days you could water, odd days you couldn't. When I lived in Arizona, oh my gosh, like I don't think humans. Those of you that live in Arizona, I don't know how you do it because I don't think humans are supposed to live in Arizona. Like you get to Arizona, those of you that've been in Arizona, you have to let me know. I lived in Phoenix in my residency at a chiropractic residency. They sometimes call that a preceptorship in Scottsdale, Arizona, with an awesome doc. He was the chiropractor at the time for the Arizona Diamondbacks and for the NHL, the hockey team, the Coyotes. Like my dream practice, only one problem. I loved the doc. I loved his practice. I loved the idea of everything. My training all to that point was all sports chiropractic, all sports medicine, on sidelines. But there's just one problem. I did not like Arizona at all. Like it is very weird for people to, in my opinion, it is very weird to have people to have rocks for their front yards. To me, that's weird. It is. Cactus are weird. Cacti are strange plants. They hurt. Like you touch a cactus, you're in trouble. And those little prickly things are hard to get out of your hands or your arm or your whatever you fell into, right? And so it just, to me, Arizona, and I'm talking more like Phoenix, Scottsdale area. I'm not talking about Sedona because it looks completely different. But in the Phoenix, Tempe, Scottsdale area, to me, it looks like Mars. Like it looks like you shouldn't live there. That humans shouldn't live there. It is hot. Now, the classic debate is, well, Florida is humid hot and Arizona is dry hot. And everybody in Arizona says, oh, dry heat's way better than humid heat. And of course, us Floridians say humid heat is a million times better than dry heat. For me, dry heat is you set your oven to bake at 400 degrees. You open up the oven once it's to temperature. You stick your face in. I'm not advising this. Do not do this, kids at home. And you breathe. And to me, that's Arizona in the summer. I remember going swimming, jumping in the pool, coming out, and my hair was dry and my bathing suit was dry. It is hot, hot, hot. So I told the doc, I go, look, I think your practice is awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate your patience. I like what you've done here, but I'm sorry. I can't live in Arizona. Like not any piece of my soul wants to live there. So hi, Talia. Thank you for the compliment, sweetheart. You are beautiful and I love you too. All right. So rain. So Robin said rain is cleansing. Some of you guys said rain is relaxing. I think rain is relaxing. I have to admit, this storm was intense. I was teaching in the Quantum Nutrition Academy, and the lightning flashes were coming through the window. So this weather can be intense. But overall, I think if I were to judge, I like rain. I think rain. Obviously, there's a purpose to rain. From a emotional standpoint, people believe that it's cleansing, it's water, it's cool. So awesome. So then with all of this, I never in my career, and sorry, I'm trying to find the right words, never in my career did I ever think that we would be at this point in healthcare. So we'll talk about the positive stuff first. So the positively, I think now more than ever, people are very, very aware that there's some companies like Big Pharma that are just out for their pocketbooks, right? I think people are more aware, and you guys can let me know the new awarenesses, waking up, if you will, of government, right? So I'll admit, I loved anatomy, I love physiology, I love science, real science, not Fauci science. Oops, I said that. But I didn't love government. I didn't love history. Like I did not like history. It didn't matter who was teaching it. I just didn't like it. I didn't find it interesting. I didn't like it. Maybe I knew it wasn't true then. I don't know. I started to really question history when I started working with international athletes. And we talk about world events, and I'm like, oh, yeah, in this world, this happened, and this happened, and this happened. They're like, no, 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 that's not what happened. So my South African athletes would be like, no, that's not what happened. And then we talk about this other worldly event in history, and then my Irish athletes would say, no, that's not what happened. And then my English athletes would say, no, that's not what happened. And all of us could not agree from a historical standpoint when it came to world history. None of the countries were agreeing on what really happened in the different wars. And I'm like, wow, if you in England learn something different, and we learn something different, and South Africa learned something different, and Ireland learned something different, and Colombia learned something different, and none of us can agree on any of this historical stuff that happened that's in our history books, then what really happened, right? Like, what really happened? And then when it came to government, oh my gosh, I thought government was a snooze fest. The only good part of it was that the boys soccer coach was the teacher, right? And he would tell us how the boys soccer did. And I was a girls soccer player, so I was very interested in how the boys soccer team did. But other than that, I didn't like government. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought it was a dumb class. And then when I graduated, and then I graduated chiropractic school, and I started my practice in Central Florida, the local government, they're like, you should come to the commissioner meetings. I'm like, why? What's a commissioner? Like, do you guys even know what's a commissioner? What's a city commissioner do? What's a mayor do? What are these different organizations do? I just thought they were like, I don't know, people that like to talk, that like political science, that hung out and like maybe talked about some, making some sidewalks and some streets and does anybody else feel like this? Right? That's what I thought. And then, these last couple years happened, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is happening because people like me did not take responsibility and actually look into what a city commissioner does, and look into how things work in the government, and how things work at the county level, and how things work at the state level, and so on. And so it's about to be school. So my friends in Georgia, their kids went back to school. Hey, Shanae. Hey, Andrea. Kids went back to school in Georgia. They went back to school this week. Here in Florida, our county goes back to school next week. So you guys can let me know when you guys' kids go back to school. And I am very, very concerned because the World Health Organization said that monkeypox is an international threat, even though there's at the time, what I was reading was 9 cases. I think that's inflated to more. And I think, in the playbook, so those of you that are athletes, if coach plays, whether it's soccer, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, if coach makes a play and that play works, what do? They run the play again, right? So if this whole Rona thing was a successful play in the playbook, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to run it again. And so those of you that are parents with kids going back to school, especially in public school, are you willing to mask up your kids again? Well, first of all, did you mask up your kids? And if you weren't against that, are you willing to have them go after a masked up school? Educators, are you willing to put a mask on to educate? Can you really educate with a mask on your face? My opinion, no, you can't. I can't be a doctor with a mask on my face, right? And so when all the stuff came down, I read our county rules, and our county said, well, you got to wear a mask, except if you cannot apply your service properly, or you cannot perform your job properly. Well, if I have right, I sound like Charlie Brown's teacher and you can't hear me. And then those of my patients that are hearing impaired can't read my lips. And the kids that I'm working on a lot of times will also look at your mouth. And, many people communicate not only with eyes and eyebrows and mouths and smiles and all that, like communication gets cut in half with a mask. And you guys know I'm preaching to the choir. So Alyssa says they go back to school next week. So with this potential monkeypox threat, and I think they're going to play this in the playbook, monkeypox, my belief is shedding of the shingles shot, because shingles and monkeypox to me looks very similar. Is it that? I don't know. I can't say that. But I've had a couple of cases with people coming in with like fluid-filled blisters on their face. Looked like shingles to me, acted like shingles to me. So how does a 20-something-year-old get shingles on their face? How does a 30-something-year-old get shingles on their chest? Like that should be an elderly disease. And why is it an elderly disease? Does anybody ever question that? My understanding, what I was taught, is that they have lowered immune system. Okay, well, that's interesting because the thymus gland in the chest shrinks. The spleen maybe doesn't function. That's an immune organ too. So, what's happening with that? And so my reality, so getting to the reality part, my reality, I look for what the perfect reality is. And again, I'm preaching to the choir. So our is it from, so Robin's asked before I change gears, Robin's asking, is it from people getting their shingles shots? So I am part of some doctor networks that send research to each other, like big email chains that constantly send research to each other. And one of the email chains came with the COVID shots for Cuba. So the Cuban people, for whatever reason, were given different shots, just like the US shots versus the European shots are different, right? So the Cuban people received a COVID shot that had tetanus in it. Now, why would you put tetanus and COVID together? Like, so you cough and you run into a rusty nail with cow feces on it. You can't get tetanus unless it's a rusty nail and cow feces. That combination is not very common in the city. That combination is not very common in most places. Farmers, if that have cows and rusty nails, it could be more common, but to have poop on a rusty nail, how common is that? And why are we shooting up people for tetanus when that combination, how likely is it for you to have a rusty nail that you stick your hand in? Like, why would you do that? Or step your foot in? Again, why would you do that? But then the rusty nail has to have cow poop in it. Like, how often does that combination happen? I want to know. So why would you combine the COVID shot with a tetanus shot? What's happening there? Why would they do that, right? So some of these shots, I believe, have other shots in them. Why? I don't know. Is it for good reasons? I don't think so. They have proven that the COVID shot's not very effective. And then there are side effects of inflammation of the heart, inflammation of the outside, the covering of the heart, potential risk of stroke, blood clot in the brain, potential risk of heart attack, blood clot in the heart. I was just reading an article of a model in Tampa, which is west of here, who's in her 20s, and they're talking about amputating both her legs due to clots in her legs. She's a 20-something-year-old model. Why did that happen? Well, she got both COVID shots. That happened. And so is it from the shingle shot? Is the shingle shot in the COVID shot? I don't know. But I do know that it appears that this combination of shots shed. And people can have negative effects from that. And so what causes the shedding? I thought the shedding occurred when it was a fresh shot. So someone got COVID shot 1 and you're around them and they just got that, there's a huge immune response, right? So, things can be detoxed out the skin. So, people were shedding then. COVID shot 2, same thing. Booster 1, booster 2. Okay, well, I think at this point, everybody's that wanted to get it, and I don't advocate this because, again, they say the shot is not effective. So what's the point? So they got COVID shot 1, they got COVID shot 2, they got booster 1, they got booster 2. Are they going to just keep making boosters? I think that was the game plan at one point, right? But then I also think there's some people that are like, I'm done with the COVID stuff. So then we have to make up a new disease, because remember, all diseases are just man named, right? Like they didn't come into existence without man or woman putting a name on them, identifying certain traits and putting a name on it. That's the same thing with conditions and diseases. Oh, well, I have fibromyalgia. What does fibromyalgia mean? Fibro, thickening, myalgia, muscle, algia, pain. So thickening of the muscles causing pain. Okay, great. But what is that? Medicine is great at making complicated Latin words, make it sound all doctor-y and fancy. But really, at the end of the day, if people are like, well, I have a dermatitis. Okay, itis is inflammation. This is where Latin's important, right? Itis is inflammation. Derma is your skin. So you have inflammation of the skin. Duh. Like it's not right. You're just naming it fancy. You're talking doctor. I had a IT guy in last week. We were having computer issues, and we had some new computers installed, and he's like, well, this thing's connected to this thing's connected to this thing, this thing, this thing. I'm like, dude, I'm a doctor. I can speak doctor to you, but there's no point because you won't understand me because it's a whole other language. You're speaking computer to me. And can you just break it down in the English and tell me what I need to do? Like, don't tell me all the details. It's kind of like going to a mechanic and they're like, well, this thing's connected to this thing. And then I check this and this and this and this and this, and this is connected to that. And this is how this works. And it's like, okay, I don't need an education on cars. Just tell me what is the problem in like a sentence. And then what is the solution, and can you fix it or not, and how much it's going to cost? And it's the same thing when people come in with broken bodies. What is the problem? Don't talk doctor to me. Tell me the problem in English. This is a sign of a good practitioner, right? They can tell you the problem in English. They can tell you the cause of the problem. They have a holistic solution, and you understand the English that they're saying. That's quantum nutrition, in my opinion, right? So the reality of this is, something's coming, right? If the WHO, the World Health Organization, is already talking about it, something's in the mix. And what are you going to do about it? If they try to mask up your kids, are you going to allow that? If they try to mask up you at work, are you going to allow that? If they want to enforce shots again, are you going to allow that? So some people told me, well, I have no choice. I have to keep my job. No, you always have a choice. And if you were in Florida, I would be happy to hire you. That you have the ethics and you have the integrity and you have the, excuse my French, balls. You have the balls to stand up for what you believe in, right? If you saw someone harming a kid or a puppy, you would say something, right? But then masks are harmful, and this shot is harmful, and anything else they make after this most likely will be helpful. No, harmful. It'll be full. It'll be harmful. So Beth says, nope. Alice Arsenic says, I'm so done with it all. Pull her in homeschool. Yolanda says, August 29th. I don't know what she's talking about on that. So yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to say to you guys, rain is cleansing. So if you're stressed out, if you are sad, if you're whatever, you can listen to the sound of rain. You can picture rain. Maybe it's raining in your area. Unfortunately, I don't think we're done with this pandemic. I do not think we're done with named diseases. Remember, before Rona, there was bird flu, swine flu, whatever flu, like, chicken flu. What was it? Chicken flu? Was that right? I don't know. So many names. And just start to plan. Like if you're prepared, then prepare with improving your immune system. Prepare with having prepper food, having food on hand. Prepare with, okay, as a family, if the school district, thank you, chicken flu, bird flu, they can come, they have chicken pox, Zika. Yeah. So Fiddler says Zika or Zika, however you want. That one sounds scary. By the way, I'm kind of all over the place today, but by the way, polio, it was very interesting that polio seemed to be occurring when they were spraying DDT everywhere. You guys remember that? Yeah, polio. And then there's all these other chemicals that they're spraying on stuff now. And, stuff that's sprayed in the air, you'll inhale. And then your body's going to have to detox that. And part of detox is coughing and sneezing and all that. Covenant says smallpox. Yeah, smallpox, chicken pox. I mean, just there's so many names, right? And when your body's expressing symptoms, it's trying to detox you from something, a chemical, a metal, a toxin, a bug. So that is my reality. That's my reality as a holistic physician. That's my reality as a doctor of chiropractic. That is my reality in quantum nutrition. That is my reality as an instructor, is that we create our own reality. So I ask you this, what do you want your reality to be? We're going to be going into 2023. This year is more than half over. So what is going into this end of this year, the second half of this year and into 2023? What do you want? What is your reality? What do you want to create for your family? So my husband and I decided early on that we did not want public school for our daughter. We did not want private school for our daughter. So we've been unschooling her, and she's learning how to run a business and how to do payroll and how to handle employees and how to do shipping. And it is amazing to me what an 8-year-old is learning. And I wish that I had her experience as far as becoming an entrepreneur. And yeah, we're saving for college for her. And but does she need to do that? Like, she could already start. She actually has started her own business. She sells, it's so cute. She sells at the office. We sell like crystal bracelets and pendants and supplements, of course, and all that. And so she went in her little craft area and she put these little bracelets together, and she puts them by the front desk and sells them for $5. So I was like, good for you, you know, good for you, good for you making your business, good for you on doing those things, right? All right, so Alyssa, Alice Arsenic says cow, monkey, chicken pox. They blame a lot of animals. Yeah, they do blame. I mean, maybe Corona should have been called like bat pox. Beth, you bought 2 Aaliyah's bracelets. Oh, that's so cute. So anyways, what is your reality? If you haven't thought about it, like, what do you want in life? What do you want your family life to look like? What do you want your work life to look like? What do you want your personal life to look like? What do you want your career path to look like? I know some of you guys are contemplating becoming quantum nutrition practitioners for real, like making that your career path. And I think that's super, super exciting. In the academy, I was just hearing all the wins of the students telling me that they tested grandma and they tested their dad and they tested their friend and they tested their pet. And it was awesome. So I leave you with this, decide what your reality you want your reality to be, move everything in that direction. Have an amazing week. And I hope you have a great night. I'm Dr. Lisa Palmer, Dr. Mama Bear. Good night.